credits monitors. Those are objects that we can use to control and monitor the credit usage of both warehouses and also our entire account. This is a feature that's available for the standard edition and higher editions, so basically for all of the editions and all of the accounts. And in these resource monitors, we can set a so-called credit quota. This is like a limit that we can set in a defined cycle. So for example, every month we have a limit that is just then reset every month. We can of course also customize this schedule, but the default is just that this resets every month. And those resource monitors we can set for the account level and also for individual warehouses. And on top of this, we can also set them up for a group of warehouses. So we can select multiple warehouses and put one resource monitor, so one limit on these multiple warehouses. And then based on the quota that we have set, we can define specific actions. So we have 3 types of actions, and we can say at what percentage of the quota this action should happen. And these 3 actions are first just notify us when, for example, 50% of the credit is used. Then we have the next action, which is suspend now the warehouse and always notify me. So all of the actions always include notify, but this will then also suspend the warehouses. But it's important that suspend here means that it will still continue the ongoing workload. So the queries that are still being processed currently, they will be completed, and only after this current workload has been finished, this will then suspend. So this means that we can exceed this limit. And then if we want to be a bit more rigorous, we can also use the action suspend immediately and notify. And this will then suspend the warehouse or the warehouses immediately, and this will also abort the current queries. So if we have some queries that are currently running, this will also immediately stop those queries. So they will be aborted and they won't be completed if this limit is reached. And also be aware, you can also use here percentages that are above 100%. This is also possible. So those resource monitors can be created to control and monitor the usage of our credits. And they can only be created by users with the account admin role. And later on, we'll talk in more detail also about the different roles. And even though this can be only created by the account admin, we can delegate some tasks. So we can just grant privileges of monitor and modify on specific resource monitors. And then those people with those privileges, they can also view and monitor the existing resource monitors. And lastly, I also quickly want to mention that these resource monitors can be used to track the usage of the cloud services that are needed to execute certain queries related to a virtual warehouse. So we can of course set a limit in which then a warehouse should be suspended, but we cannot prevent entirely the usage of cloud service. So we cannot necessarily prevent cloud service usage that is related to a warehouse. This is just something that's a little bit specific, but I also wanted to mention this. So this is what we need to know about resource monitors, and now we want to just put this into practice and create such resource monitors hands-on in Snowflake.